Fort Collins Lincoln Center, home of art, art patrons, and the Art in Public Places Board. These folks select the public art that's seen on street corners, parks, and the sides of buildings around town. Outgoing board members York and Lily are evaluating another submission for possible acceptance. If approved, it will join many other lovely art pieces in the Choice City. The board makes quick work of this night's business, and York and Lily invite our cameras along on a quick tour of some local art. First up, the Northside Aslan Center. Here's a piece by Carolyn Braxma, created using a palette of stones, glass, and marbles. Inside the center, there are art pieces from floor to ceiling. Anne Bosert's Serape Azatlan decorates a stairwell. And sunlight streams through windows decorated with traditional symbols. Outside, a transformer cabinet is itself transformed into a canvas for art. Next, our intrepid tour guides head north of town where local artist Susan DAILEY puts the finishing touches on her piece entitled Windows into the Past. Here's Lily's comments on the piece.
Susan took a historical viewpoint depicting some of the history of what it used to be like in the valley. I'm astounded at how beautiful it is.
York tells us how the board chooses from the many different styles of the art world.
Not everybody likes every piece of art that's done. That's one of the things that we have to deal with as an art committee is how do we balance the different types of art that people like with what we have money for to actually get out there in the community and get projects completed with.
This is just so exciting that the city's doing projects like this and making little areas like this, little jewels of color.
Our tour ends with a final snapshot and a thank you to York and Lily for painting us this picture of a job well done. The time, 1:23. The place, seat of government, City Hall. And as the Building Review Board concludes its business, outgoing board chair Alan CRAM exits the chambers to pandemonium. With the last autograph signed, Alan comments on his 8 years of service on the board.
Working with the contractors in the community and the building department, we were able to put together a green code for Fort Collins, which went above and beyond the International Building Code, which is used throughout the United States and a large portion of the world as well. From here on, I think I'll continue my work with the Healthy Sustainable Homes program, going out into these homes and doing an assessment to see about air infiltration. Is there proper venting on stoves? What about the furnaces, the hot water heaters? It's been interesting. If I'd stay longer, I would.
Though City Council has yet to choose a replacement on the board, this reporter finds it hard to believe that the position will remain vacant for long. It's graduation day at Fort Collins Police Services as young officers take the oath in front of friends and family. After many hours of training, these newly sworn officers will go into our community to protect and to serve. Proper training is also necessary for these members of the Citizen Review Board on this tour of police services. Here's the scoop. When a complaint is lodged against an officer, Police Services conducts an internal investigation and issues its conclusion. The folks on the CRB provide an independent review of this police report to make sure that a thorough investigation was conducted. Board member Glenn Strunk clarifies the board's role.
Some people refer to the Citizen Review Board as the Police Services Citizen Review Board, and we aren't. We're established by the City Council, so we report information back to the Council and we report to the City Manager.
On this tour, outgoing board members Glenn and Ann Berry get first-hand knowledge of police procedures. Officer Garrett Hardy demonstrates the training officers receive in self-defense and the proper use of force when making an arrest. It's crucial that all evidence in a case is handled correctly. Here, Officer Gil Crone demonstrates proper procedure. The evidence is examined, sealed, and tagged before being securely locked away for use later. And how do our board members feel about leaving the board after so many years of service?
I don't want to.
A direct answer to a direct question.
But honestly, I'd stay on this board forever if they'd let me. It's been a wonderful experience. I've really, really enjoyed it.
And now to the world of sports. That's outgoing board member Shane HOUSKA hitting the links at Collindale Golf Course. After 10 years' experience on the golf board, maybe you could make shots like this. Impressive. But can he do it again? That's remarkable. What's the secret of your success, Shane?
I've been playing golf for 37 years, and it's a sport I truly love. It transcends age, size, ability. Anybody can play it, and anybody can love it. We'll have a friendly wager. We'll play for $1.
A friendly wager puts the pressure on and brings out the finest in both golfers. You never know who you might see on a beautiful fall day like this. There's local champ Ashley Gruber. Good to see the ladies represented out there on the fairway. Then it's back to the battle, where Shane clears himself of the sand with a good position on the green. But this near miss puts Earl in the position for the win. This putt could do it. And he sinks it for an eagle and the victory. This challenge was just for fun. But here's Shane commenting about a more serious one.
The biggest challenge probably in the next 5-10 years is to grow the next generation of golfers and make the game less intimidating, less time intensive. And I think that's the challenge for not only Fort Collins, but golf in general on the golf board.
Not to be outdone, Shane sets up a special shot. Not to worry, Shane. With talent like that, golf will never die. We interrupt this program to bring you this news flash. After 8 years of service, board member James Lathrop has received the city's thanks and a hearty handshake from city manager Darren Atterbury. After all, it's not everyone who gets to retire from the retirement committee.
The thing that I found most enjoyable was being able to participate and help the retirement board stay solvent, to help the people who are on that retirement program to get the retirement they deserve.
And what about the future, James?
Probably take a look at getting on some other committee, and of course there's always a little bit of travel that needs to be done. I need to get out there and see some more of the world.
Looks like James is on board for other adventures in the future. Good luck, and thanks for your service.
There's nothing like ice-cold Coca-Cola.
And now, in living color, Cable 14 presents the Community Development Block Grant Commission. Outgoing Chair Kay Rios and Board allocate grant funds to be used for human services and community development programs and projects. Hoping to catch a word with Kay, our reporter arrives too late, and the meeting has concluded. So, our cameras turn detective and venture out into the community to see firsthand how these CDBG dollars are spent. Our first stop, La Familia, the Family Center, where Director Stephanie Tillman certainly has her hands full.
So the money that we received from CDBG this year was able to help families receive sliding scale funding so that their children are able to come here to the Family Center, La Familia, for access to high quality early care and education programming. So Kay, wherever you are, thank you so much for all your dedication to the families and the community.
Next up is the Catholic Charities Senior Outreach Program and Director Guy Ment.
We use most of those funds to do our senior outreach services, which helps over 200 seniors remain independent and age with dignity here in Fort Collins.
Our last stop is Disabled Resource Services. This important agency serves over 6,000, and wait a minute, there's Kay now, touring the new building with Director Nancy Jackson.
I'm so thrilled about the funding that we received from CDBG. We had been in an overcrowded space for 25 years. The $385,000 no-interest loan allowed us to purchase this building. We have an accessible bathroom, private offices for each of our staff,
and lots of space for the equipment that will make life easier for those dealing with a disability.
I'm just so glad that I was part of the process that helped this happen. As a commission, we did this. I've spent 30 years on boards and commissions in this area. I started when I was like 8. And what it has shown me is that there are a lot of different kinds of populations, and those populations like disabled resources that are underserved. We can make an impact so that hopefully we'll be able to not only acknowledge differences, but celebrate them as well.
Hot off the presses. Outgoing board member Michael CHALONA tours the new senior center expansion, and movie tone is there.
One of the last projects I've had opportunity to see through as a board member and work on in my professional life has been the expansion of the Fort Collins Senior Center. As you can see, the lobby space and administrative space has grown tremendously with new expansion. The whole porte-cochere was picked up from this exact location and slid straight back and really expanded the desk opportunities and office space for the staff. One of the expansion areas is a new cardio fitness room that really opens up the opportunities to dance, work out, have fun, just really enjoy themselves.
Then it's upstairs to the all-new state-of-the-art fitness center. Anyone in the community can use these new cardio machines, weight machines, and free weights, and all to the accompaniment of your favorite TV show. But won't this even make it more crowded now at the Senior Center? Not with this new parking lot added on the west side of the building, and once inside, the center's new larger rooms accommodate the largest crowd.
There's a great auditorium that was added into the Senior Center, and it offers the ability to have movies, show travel videos, speakers. There's a great south-facing patio here that is a donor patio. As people make donations to the Senior Center, they can get their name on a paver. You know, I'm very proud of what was accomplished and what was done, expanding the reach of this facility out to the community. So right now I have nothing scheduled. Every fourth Wednesday for the last 10 years I've been at a Parks and Recreation Board meeting.
But I think we all know what Michael will be doing next Wednesday night. Trying to win his money back. Don't feel bad, Michael. These fellows have had a lot of practice. Crowds gather in South Fort Collins. To hear the president, perhaps? No, to meet Max, the new rapid transit system connecting Midtown, CSU, and downtown. Transportation Board members Sarah Frazier and Gary Steen join the celebration.
13 and 1/2 years.
I was going to say, I thought you had a lot more than I did.
Yeah, how many years have you been on the board?
Just 8.
Yeah, I think you should show everybody that you just bought a pass for the bus. It's a really nice pass. And when they come by, I don't have anything, so I better talk fast. It's been joy and a thrill to be part of the process of getting Max here in Fort Collins.
When you go outside the city and visit other communities and realize, wow, has Fort Collins got it together.
Meanwhile, on the other end of town, Natural Resource Advisory Board members Joe Peisman and Elizabeth Prusner get away from it all along the Poudre River.
I can't believe how this area has transformed so much just in the 8 years that we've been on the board.
Yeah.
We're great. Sorry, it's a raptor alert, raptor alert. Red tail.
Oh, I see him.
Yeah.
All that ash that had built up from the Hyde Park fire had clogged this whole section of the river, and now the fish are coming back. The bank is much steeper than it was before the flood. The Poudre River, I think, is one of the gems of the natural resources of our city, and if any small way, working with staff, working with council to protect this resource. I just lost my fly, I backcasted.
Did you see it?
No, I'll never find it. I can tie another one on.
I'm glad to hear the ridership has just been tremendous and over what they originally expected.
And I imagine that they will continue to expand it and tying in the east and west buses. The talk now for I-25 is putting another lane in, and I would like to see that effort go for the rail, the commuter rail.
I just saw a fish rise over there.
This little field is great. food for the birds. Last year we had an osprey, and he caught a fish, and I watched him eat it.
I caught a leaf.
You know, I do volunteer ranger assistant work with natural areas.
Aren't you excited about what the plans for the Poudre River Park?
Part of this restoration will allow the river to flood when it needs to. I mean, we've already seen little cottonwoods sprouting all around McMurray and actually up by Sterling too, where they've lowered the bank and allowed the river to reclaim the floodplain. And I've seen birds there that I've never seen before already.
I think the downtown river plan is going to merge the recreation and the natural resource together so that the maximum number of people can enjoy the river. The more people that love the river, the better.
The funding source for our transportation system is always our biggest challenge. We need that reliable, steady, designated income for the transportation system. I'm going to miss it somewhat.
Yes, yes.
But I do get my Wednesday night back.
Yes, yes, I'll have to sneak in now and then.
Hello there.
There's a lot of fish in that river. One of these days you'll be catching them. It's just so great that we've cared enough to preserve this for all the future generations.